Some big-name celebrities have it all. The fame, the fortune, and all of the glory that comes from being at the top. But for some unlucky celebs, they don't have it so easy. Whether it be from bankruptcy, criminal activity, or just a poor image, some Hollywood stars have hit rock bottom and lost it all. Today we're going to count down some of these unlucky few as we cover the top 10 celebrities who lost it all. What's going on, my lovelies? I'm your host, Bree Room, and welcome back to Top 10 Beyond the Screen. Before we get started, you know what's up. We have playlists at the ready for your enjoyment, so go ahead and check those out. Also, stick around until the end because I'll be reading out more of your comments. Kicking things off at number 10, Nicolas Cage. Nick Cage is a pretty big Hollywood actor, so it's surprising to see that he kinda hit rock bottom at one point. Between the years of 1996 and 2011, he was worth over $130 million. What happened then, you ask? Well, as he began to make more money, he spent more money buying pretty pricey and lavish things. Among the things that he spent his hard-earned cash on included things like luxury cars, 2 islands, a yacht, a jet, several properties around the world, a dinosaur skull, and my personal favorite, a $150,000 pet octopus. Now, unfortunately for Nick, his expenses got the best of him and he filed for bankruptcy. He was forced to sell most of his belongings to cover his debt and was even sued by his money manager. Nick has spent the last few years basically living paycheck to paycheck trying to pay off his remaining debts. In at number 9, Toni Braxton. Much like Nicolas Cage, singer Toni Braxton also lost her fortune. In 1998, Toni filed for bankruptcy, landing her in a pretty depressive episode. Toni blamed her misfortunes on bad business deals, tour expenses, and as well as her personal spending habits, as she was known to purchase designer clothing and accessories. Toni shared her feelings about her bankruptcy publicly and seemed to have bounced back after a few years. But that money didn't last very long because she filed for bankruptcy a second time in 2010 because she was over $15 million in debt. How does someone spend so much money? $15 million is a lot. This time she blamed her debts on the fact that she owed money to her record label, the IRS, and the state of Georgia for taxes. Since then, she's been left with very little money to her name. I sincerely hope that if she regains her fortune, that she doesn't blow it all for a third time. At number 8, Wesley Snipes. Another celebrity who lost it all is none other than comedian Wesley Snipes. Wesley was arrested and sentenced to 3 years in prison for tax evasion. Now, this is one of the things I'm most afraid of happening to me. I'm so scared that I'll accidentally forget to pay my taxes and end up in jail. Like, it is so easy to just not pay your taxes one year because you missed the deadline. It's so scary. Anyway, Wesley was found guilty for failing to pay upwards of $15 million in taxes between 1999 and 2001. He tried to appeal his case a few times since his lawyers claimed that Wesley's tax advisors misled him, but he was forced to serve the full 3-year sentence. He went from being at the top to behind bars. In at 7, Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan was once one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, but she began her slow decline, leading her to hit rock bottom. At the beginning of her career, she was booking movie after movie, and she made quite a name for herself. But slowly over time, she got booked less and less because she held a reputation for poor behavior on set, as well as constantly being late for her shoots. Since she wasn't receiving the same amount of work that she used to, her income started to take a hit, and that combined with her large list of expenses from personal items to bills and legal fees, she racked up a lot of debt that she just couldn't pay off. At the same time, her public image was taking a hit as well. She was in and out of rehab and was facing harsh criticism from the public, so not only was she broke, she was also unable to get a job because of her image. Right now she's doing kind of okay, but her career and financial situation will never be the same again. Coming in at number 6, Johnny Depp. Actor Johnny Depp is another celebrity who's lost it all. Johnny and his misfortunes have been in the media a lot lately. As his divorce with Amber Heard continues to be broadcast around the world, we're finding out more and more about how Johnny lost everything he's built for himself. At the height of his career, he had his fortunes, but they soon began to dwindle as life began to get the best of him. Between lawsuits, fraud charges, taxes, and divorce settlements, Johnny lost millions. Normally, for a celebrity as big as he was, it wouldn't have taken him much to regain the funds that he had lost, but his divorce with Amber Heard is what seemed to have been the nail in his coffin. Amber alleged that Johnny was abusive towards her, and this ruined his reputation in the film industry. No one wanted to be seen supporting an alleged abuser, and his career suffered greatly. He stopped receiving the kind of income that he was used to, and Hollywood wouldn't take him on. Now, since more information about Johnny's divorce has come through, people are beginning to see him as the good guy again, but he might still have a ways to go. Halfway through at number 5, Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart had built her empire on cookbooks and home goods, but her kingdom came crashing down in 2004 when she was sentenced to jail time after being charged with obstruction of justice and conspiracy. Martha's image was shattered after she was caught using insider information to pull her stocks from a failing company in the stock market. She went from being perfect and neighborly to a hardened criminal in the blink of an eye. No, I'm just kidding, it's not that dramatic, but she did suffer quite a bit. She had to pay a fine for her crimes and was forced to step down as CEO of her company for 5 years. It took a while for Martha to bounce back from her tarnished image, but many people still see her as the lady who went to jail. At number 4, Britney Spears. Britney has been in the news a lot lately regarding her guardianship and assets. Basically, for the last decade or so, her father James has been in charge of almost everything Britney can or cannot do, have, or say. This comes from back in her meltdown days when Britney really wasn't doing too great. She was suffering a lot in her personal life and in the media, and her career came crashing down around her as a result. Despite making a lot of money and gaining a lot of fame in her early days of her music career, it all now falls into her dad to take care of. Now, even though Britney wants her life back, she's unable to legally take responsibility for her assets, so she's pretty much lost everything she's worked for. Under the Free Britney movement, fans are calling for conservatorship to be taken away from her dad so that Britney can be free to live her life the way she wants. But for the time being, she has nothing of her own. In at 3, Charlie Sheen. Actor Charlie Sheen is one of the many Hollywood stars who have hit rock bottom. He was once worth $150 million, but now he's down to just $10 million and he's pretty much broke. Sheen left his glory days behind after being caught up with illegal activities. His substance abuse and promiscuity cost him his job on the sitcom 2.5 Men, which used to bring him in $1.8 million an episode. After being let go from the show, Charlie was never able to pick his career back up again. His expenses continued to grow though, from paying spousal support to 2 ex-wives, paying child support for his kids, paying for a company, and paying off the people who knew about his HIV status. Charlie racked up some pretty hefty debts to the point where he's now behind on his own personal bill payments. He really lost everything in the blink of an eye. At number 2, Amanda Bynes. Much like Lindsay Lohan, former child star Amanda Bynes lost everything she built for herself during her early days in the spotlight. Amanda had a pretty successful career in the early 2000s, but following her fall from grace, she's lost everything. Amanda's mental health was a big factor in her career's decline. She was making headlines in the media during her manic episodes that cost her her reputation, and no one has hired her since. She's gotten the help that she needed and has moved on to other things, but her career in acting is pretty much done for. Amanda has since graduated from college and seems to be doing pretty well for herself, but there's no way that she can return to the big screen. Finally, in at number 1, Robert Downey Jr. Before Robert Downey Jr. took up the mantle as Iron Man, his career had hit rock bottom and he had basically lost every ounce of success. Though he was very popular in his early film career, he watched it all wash away after getting in trouble with illegal substances. Hollywood refused to hire the actor and he lost his credibility. He held some smaller roles here and there, but he was still in the dark. It wasn't until a Hollywood executive decided to take a chance on Robert and give him the role of Iron Man that we saw him make a comeback. Everyone, including Robert, thought his career in film was over until that moment. So he truly lost it all, but he made an amazing comeback, and that's why he is our number 1 spot. Okay, now let's get into some comment shoutouts. Vanessa Stegall says, "Hi Bree, welcome to the Top 10 Beyond the Screen crew. Thank you, it's nice to be here." Robbie says, "Can we cancel 2020? Honestly, I would love to, but I feel like 2020 is so resilient that they would throw the cancellation back in our faces. It's not happening." Sandy South said, "Sick of Hollywood, they are mostly hypocrites." You're pretty right. I mean, there's some nice celebrities out there, but most of them are kind of crap. Now let's wrap up the video. Thanks so much for watching this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button. If you want to see more content, smash that subscribe button. And to be notified when we post a new video, smash that little bell icon. That's all I've got for you guys today, so stay groovy, friends. Anyway, Wesley was found guilty. Anyway, Wesley was found guilty for failing to pay. Wesley was found guilty. Now, since more information about Johnny's divorce has come through, people are seeing. Since more information about. Since more information about John. Martha's image was shattered after she. Martha's image was shattered after.